From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, March the 2nd, 2017. Israeli troops came under fire today near the security fence with Gaza. Gunfire emanating from the Gaza Strip hit an IDF engineering vehicle, but no soldiers were harmed. The IDF said it was the third attack in 4 days, and they responded today by hitting 2 Hamas terror targets in Gaza. The IDF spokesperson said in response to the gunfire, an IDF force attacked and destroyed 2 Hamas positions using Israeli Air Force crafts and tank fire. Last night, a rocket was fired from Gaza into Israel. It landed in an open area of beach in the coastal city of Ashkelon. No damage or injury was caused there. It followed a rocket fired into Israel on Monday, which landed in the Sha'ar HaNegev Regional Council, which also did not result in any damage or injury. The Jewish Museum in London was temporarily evacuated on Monday after it received a bomb threat. UK paper The Jewish Chronicle said that visitors and staff were sent outside as local police and security officials searched the building for explosives. None were found, and activities resumed as normal. Museum Director Abigail Morris said the museum welcomes thousands of visitors, including many school children, every year, 95% of whom are not Jewish. In fact, there were groups of children visiting on Monday. Morris said, "We challenge prejudice and combat anti-Semitism by breaking down barriers and building bridges." If you recall, Monday also saw some 28 phoned-in bomb threats here in the U.S. as well as threats to the Jewish Museum in Sydney, all of which were deemed false. Meanwhile, the Department of Homeland Security said it was working closely with Jewish communities after the spate of threats. Secretary John Kelly released a statement last night calling the recent wave of threats and vandalism unacceptable and escalating. He said the department's National Protection and Programs Directorate had spoken with leaders of the Jewish Community Center Association of North America to offer training and other protective measures. Kelly said the right to worship and commune within and across faiths is fundamental to the American experience and our way of life. The JCC Association of North America thanked Kelly for his assistance. Director of Strategic Performance David Posner said Homeland Security promised that its protective security advisors, who are stationed in all 50 states, would be in contact with JCCs within the next week, offering their expertise. Posner said, "We look forward to working with DHS through this unparalleled level of assistance, which comes as very welcome at an extraordinarily stressful time for JCCs and the diverse communities they serve." A new task force will also help in response to the recent threats. The Secure Community Network, which is the initiative of the Jewish Federations of North America and the Conference of Presidents, formed the SCN Security Advisory Council today, which is made up of former law enforcement officials and is aimed at strengthening communications between SCN and law enforcement and providing expertise. Council Chairman Alejandro Mayorkas, who is himself a former Deputy Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, told the press today, "We will provide strategic guidance to SCN and also assist in strengthening SCN's critical partnership with federal, state, and local law enforcement and community leaders across the country." And with the recent wave of anti-Semitic incidents, we also continue to report to you about the support that has poured in for the Jewish community. Local churches in Asheville, North Carolina, for example, greeted members of its JCC, which was among those targeted this week, with flowers, coffee, pastries, signs, and pins showing solidarity this morning. And the Huffington Post reports that members of the Muslim community, many of them U.S. military veterans, have tweeted their support for the Jewish community, offering to stand guard to protect Jewish sites if necessary, writing that Islam requires it. Legendary Jewish photojournalist David Rubin has died. Rubin was known as the photographer of the nation in Israel, a term coined by former Israeli president, the late Shimon Peres. He was also the photographer for Time magazine for decades, as well as for the Jerusalem Post. Rubin chronicled the state of Israel for most of his life. Among his most iconic photographs, the image of 3 Israeli paratroopers standing in front of the recaptured Western Wall during the Six-Day War. Israeli President Reuven Rivlin eulogized Rubinger, saying David immortalized history in his photographs that will forever remain in our memory. I will continue to carry him in my memory, armed with his old and faithful camera. Rubinger died yesterday at the age of 92. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, March the 2nd. At 7 o'clock, it's Talmud study with Rabbi Mordechai Becker. At 7:30, the American Jewish Committee honors American mayors. At 8, Professor Shaul Magi discusses the life of Rabbi Menachem Froman. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with former Knesset Minister Michael Melchior on L'chaim. And at 10, it's Muzika with Israeli singer Noah. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, Mark Golub speaks with former chair of the President's Conference and of the JCC Association, Alan Solo, on tonight's In the News. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, March the 2nd, 2017. I'm Teisha Bader.